Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about the book The Gaslight Dogs by Karin Lowachee. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I do not know. Uh, I remember when I first came across this book, the cover was interesting to me. It seemed kind of steampunk, but with obviously this native woman and this wolf in the foreground here. And the tagline here on the front, her spirit, their war, the world will never be the same. And the description on the back caught my attention. Unfortunately, I wasn't that impressed with the book. It's supposed to be book one in a series, but whether or not that series actually gets made is a different story. When I was looking for pictures and trying to remind myself of what happened in the book, I happened across some other information. Apparently, the publisher of this book only contracted with the author for one book, and so got to the end. There's only one book in the series. Ends pretty much as it meant to go on, but it probably won't go on. Don't know if that's true, but I did run into some people online who did like this book and would definitely like to see a continuation. For me, pass. Anyway, let me get back to the book a little bit and maybe explain what my misgivings about it and kind of go over the story. So, set in a fantasy world, magic exists alongside kind of steampunk coal era technology. There is and I'm going to slaughter these names because the girl on the cover, her name is spelled Sjenn. So is that Jen? Is it just Jen? Anyway. The one that I'm not going to slaughter is Captain Jarrett. So there are obviously multiple races and things in the world. This girl comes from a northern tribe, and they have some dealings with the people that Captain Jarrett comes from. Now, Captain Jarrett, you can think of him as being Caucasian, white adjacent, or an analog of such. There seems to be a lot of themes in the book of like colonization and imperialization's probably not the right word, but that imperial mentality that Britain had around the turn of the 18th century. If I'm thinking, no, 19th, the 1800s, and such. So anyway, she lives up north with her tribe, and then they have a pretty much amicable relationship with these white people. And through a series of circumstances, you find out that she is a shaman would be a good probably term for it. She has the ability to summon a wolf spirit that transforms her into a wolf. Or well, I shouldn't say wolf because that's not what they call it. They call it a dog. It's her little dog. Little being relative here because it's quite capable of killing a man. Well, she is captured and brought back to the capital city of these white people. It's the term for them. They're Syracusans or something similar. Again, I have no idea how you're supposed to say that. It's whatever the author had decided. Syracusans, that's what the word I used for it. Anyway, she's brought there because she has this magical ability to transform herself by summoning this spirit. She doesn't necessarily have that great control over it, which is basically why she was brought back. She lost control of it. It killed someone, and they captured her for punishment, prison. Well, a general who happens to be the father of this Captain Jarrett, who we meet around this point in time after she's been brought back to the Empire, or not the Empire. There's actually an empire that's having a war with these people because they're a colony that broke away, kind of like the United States and Great Britain in the late 1700s. But the Syracusans, the people that she ends up with, they have agreements and treaties with other Aboriginal tribes in the area, and they use them as scouts and soldiers and things like that in their war against their mother country that is trying to tame them, bring them back under their rule. And you can see how this this could be quite an interesting book. There's all these themes going on, and this girl goes from the frozen north, as we would say, and gets taken to a big city that's got the gas lamps and the coal, and it's a clash of cultures. And she gets brought back to this capital. She meets Captain Jarrett and his father, and the reason that Captain Jarrett's father is so interested in her is because she has this ability to summon this spirit and transform. He forces his son to start learning this magic from this girl. The son has no desire to be a part of this. He just wants to get back to his unit and continue prosecuting the war. But his father is basically a general, and what he says in this instance goes. This is where it, for me, lost the thread. Obviously, this girl has these magical powers. She can transform, and she's being forced to teach this to this white man who she doesn't trust, doesn't like, and it's basically under duress. She's being told that she cannot go back to her people, and she will basically be thrown back in a prison cell if she doesn't do this, which, obviously for obvious reasons, she decides to then teach this magic to this man. This magic that she doesn't have all that great control over. And she sits down with him and starts teaching him. He does end up being able to use this ability, but again, it's not very, he doesn't have a very good grasp on it. He doesn't like it, doesn't trust it. It's not part of his culture. And it's not like he ends up deciding that, I'm in a bad situation here. Better make the most of it. Better make the best of it. And there's certain things that you can see from the picture here. She has facial tattoos. That's part of her culture. It marks her as what she is, this conduit to the spirit. And for some strange reason, I know it explains it in the book, but they tattoo the same marks on the captain's face, Captain Jarrett, who's learning this magic from the girl, from Jen. To me, at that point, because they had such, and he recognizes this, Captain Jarrett, he's like, this is not going to go over well with my men. They're going to think I've gone native. And his father's like, tough, you got to get these facial tattoos. Like, really? We couldn't have figured out a way to maybe do this without the facial tattoos. Anyway, the thing is that he wants the general wants his son to learn this magic to see if they can, incorporate it into their forces so they can use it. Obviously, it says here, her spirit, their ward, the world will never be the same. They're trying to incorporate it into what they can use against those with whom they are fighting. Once again, it seems really good. It seems like it would be very interesting. Unfortunately for me, I just did not like some of the turns in the story. The captain never grew to appreciate the power that he was being taught and given. Shen, to me, seemed that she capitulated too easily. And I don't want to give too many spoilers away, and so I'll just leave it at that. But for me, if there was a continuation of this series, I would pass on it. I did not enjoy it enough to continue forward with the story. There were some interesting themes. I did like the aesthetic with the steampunk crossing with the mystical world, but once again, I didn't really enjoy it enough to go forward with it. So, as always, this is the end of the video. So like and subscribe, and if you have questions, please comment down below. If you have ideas for other books that you'd like to hear about that maybe I've read, please let me know. And until next time.